Something I learned about dating the man with potential, those men almost always stay the man with potential. They very rarely become the man who lived up to that potential. Back in the day, I dated some guys who just weren't where they should have been in life. I stayed with them thinking, just give it a couple years, they will evolve and become this new man. You're gonna run into them in like 5 years and they're gonna become the person that you needed. Every case, when I ran into those guys years later, they were in the same exact position that they were in when we were together. There is nothing wrong with dating the man with potential, as long as you're realistic about whether he can actually fulfill that potential and whether you're willing to wait until he does.
You, my dear, are a parasite. Do you understand? A parasite. What do parasites do? They attach to you and they drain you of resources, bodily fluids, whatever, but they don't serve any purpose except to subtract from your overall, being. Okay? That's what you are. You're a parasite, right? A parasite and shit. Nowhere in your video did you talk about what you were doing and shit, and what your intentions were towards your career, your life, or anything and shit. You talked about sitting in the catbird seat, watching a guy go out there and get it from the dirt with no input in that regard. Okay, you're not working with them and shit, so I'm left to assume that you have nothing in common with this anonymous gentleman, this hypothetical gentleman that you speak of. Shit, you have nothing in common with him, not other than the fact that you have wants and needs, and you look at him as someone that has the potential to provide those wants and needs and shit. We don't need to ask you what what you would bring to, cough, the table. Okay, you're bringing your box. Okay, your vagina. Okay, I hate to be crass about it, but we're adults here, I assume and shit. You talking about bringing your vagina and whatever other physical assets you have that really doesn't include your face and whatnot, because you're, I have to be quite honest, you're blah. Okay, you're very mid. All right, you're not very attractive. You're just barely a girl next door, very barely by the skin of your fucking teeth, the tips of your fingernails. All right, and what you talk about is, investing in someone else's works, with somebody else's efforts. All right, well, you know what that makes you, right? Not a parasite. That's what you are. You're a red flag, a walking red flag and shit. I don't think any man, any man of distinction should involve himself with a woman that makes this known to him in any part of the time that they're interacting socially and interpersonally and shit. I think when you understand this is her worldview or her, how she's gonna move on these supposed streets, then you should cut her loose, okay? I don't even think that you should sleep with a woman that says these kind of things and shit. I'm gonna be honest and shit, in my younger days, I met a lot of women with this mindset, but they didn't just say it and shit. And the ones they did say it were like, they were above a 10, okay? I feel damn lucky that I have been with women that are 12s, okay? And I am non-select. I've been being told I was non-select since I started school, all the way through school, all 12 fucking years was I told that shit. When I got in college, it was a whole different world and shit, okay? I'm not really, going personal about my own experiences. I just want you to know where I'm coming from. That I'm not a paragon of virtuous shit. That, I'm just one of you. I'm a king like you're a king. My true name actually means king. Alright? And, sometimes, I regret that I didn't act like the definition of my name and shit. I always was trying to be that middle of the road guy, that open-minded guy and shit. And I paid heavily for it, and you don't have to pay heavily for it and shit, because I've experienced it already. I'm here to impart that knowledge, however you see that advice or that odd nugget to you, my listeners, my subscribers and shit. And I'd like to get more subscribers. All right, but let's not stand on ceremony, pun intended. This woman does not qualify for that shit. But when she talks like this, I look at her in the way she's speaking. I look at her like an opportunity, like a business opportunity. Like I'm going to the market and that shit. I'm not gonna get the shittiest piece of fruit, you know. I'm not gonna get it, just like she's not gonna want the shittiest eggplant and shit. But I'm not gonna get the shittiest piece of fruit. I want more bang for my buck and shit. When I look at her, what does she have to offer? I have to look at her physically and shit and have to decide if I'm gonna have a sexual relationship with her because everything else is off the table once I heard the transactional mindset. And that's how you need to move on these streets when you hear this bullshit and keep your head on a swivel interpersonally, you know, socially and especially financially and legally. That's the way we have to think now. A lot of these women don't realize that they're running their mouths on social media makes them insurance liabilities. Okay. I think, these days dating a woman is just like when you were, 16 and you started taking driver's ed and shit. It's that fucking dangerous. Okay. It's like as dangerous as driving drunk, dating in, certain venues, certain areas, certain parts of the world. Okay. You take this into consideration, your life will be greatly enriched and expanded and whatnot. All right, it's the least I can do. Just imparting this information after being a crash test dummy for stupid decisions for a good portion of my life and shit. I would like to know that I'm helping somebody out there. And so, I put these videos out, and as far as when I'm looking at the female, I don't even want to give her a rating and shit, but I want to tell her, man, that she will have to work very hard to convince me that she even rates for Pound Town. Okay? And I don't want to look at her face. Okay? I don't want no starfish shit. Okay? She's going to get on her hands and knees and face away from me. Okay? I have to be that crass. Okay? Because I feel that it's necessary because what she says and how she's speaking and how she's supposedly, allegedly moving in the streets lends itself to me responding in this manner and shit because I am a gentleman, okay? I am a nice fucking guy, but I'm not a stupid guy, okay? All right? Sometimes you have to play the fool and shit. And these women don't tell on themselves. So that's how you'll vet them and shit. You start hearing red flags or they start talking about some shit that you're not into, start making your way to the door. So that being said, Kings, keep your head on the swivel. Protect the bag, especially from women like this, mid-level basic women that, are way out of their lane, even verbally, and above all else, especially considering this woman again, and what the damage that she could do if you don't pay attention. Do not make fallen women, or stupid ones, or narcissistic ones, or sociopaths, the stewards of your family are the mothers of your children because children are your future, your legacy. You better take this shit to heart. All praise to the Most High.
Even my brothers and uncles was like, these out here ain't shit. Keep them around for a little while, get what you need, but you keep it moving. You don't need them. They just gonna use you. Like they had a bad opinion of the men around them. So
this message has been paid for by the Dusties. Yes, the niggas you love to hate.